Hello!
Hey there, guys.
And welcome back to the Tom and Jerry Experience. How's everybody doing today? You are?
I am Captain Tom.
And I'm Sailor Jerry. We are so glad that you guys could join us today. However, this just in, I do have a joke of the week.
Oh, boy.
If you're ready, if I keep banging the table, I'm sure that just... All right, so... First, before I'm going to preface this joke by asking you, Captain Tom, a question.
Okay.
What is your favorite soft drink over the years?
Well, everybody that knows me knows this answer.
Yeah.
It would be Dr. Pepper.
It is, yes. For as long as I've known you, even before I was probably even in grade school, I remember you drinking Dr. Pepper. I mean, it's just, gosh.
And I'll give you a little thing. I had bladder cancer last year.
Yeah, we were talking about that last episode.
And I haven't been drinking as much Dr. Pepper as I have been.
Yeah. So this kind of goes along those lines of the Dr. Pepper, okay? All right, so what kind of doctor is Dr. Pepper? Anybody?
He's a spice doctor.
Close.
Sneezing?
Nope. He is a physician.
Oh.
All right, so do we have the wah? No.
Yeah,
All right, so
chirp. Yeah.
So on today's episode of Front Row Parking, all right, so we're going to have a topic that our producer recommended, and we ask a question, like I always say, out on the interwebs, of if is there something, a place, a restaurant, a store, maybe a venue that you wish could come back, or maybe that you miss it, or maybe you wish it could come back. And thank you. We had a decent amount of people that responded. And by the way, we also kind of posted our new song, and we had some people respond saying that they really like it. So soon to come, you will be seeing that prior to our show starting. Can't wait. So that's great. I'm looking forward to that. All right, so back to the topic at hand. Okay, and I really like some of the responses we got. Some of them were repeated themselves, if you will. Right? Some people said the same thing. But one of our first respondents, who was that, Captain Tom? Who was the first person? One of the first people to respond. What do you got there?
Well, that would be your dad,
Okay.
Jerry Sr.
Sailor Jerry Sr.
Sailor Jerry Sr.
All right, what'd he say?
As most of us around here would say, we want Frisch's back.
Frisch's. And for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with Frisch's, so it's part of the Big Boy.
Big Boy. And
family.
if I'm not mistaken, there is still Big Boys in this country somewhere.
Now, I have something interesting about that, Captain Tom. As you know, I've lived in numerous places.
Okay.
And I've actually been to a Big Boy restaurant in a different state. And I ordered a Big Boy, the sandwich, and it did not have tartar sauce. It had like a Thousand Island type of dressing, kind of like a Big Boy. Not a big, but like a Big Mac almost, right? But I was like, wait a minute. So the next time I went to that particular location, I said, I want mine with tartar sauce, not that, because So anyway, Frisch's is part of that Big Boy family, and not all, but most of them closed down. Pretty much recently.
The ones around here had closed down for some kind of financial thing.
Correct. And that is there might be one or two still around, but yeah, I miss that restaurant. Great restaurant.
There's one right next to NKU.
Yes, Northern Kentucky University. Apparently there's one, and still open. So still open. All right, let me mention. Now, I have one. Now, we're going to mention this person. First of all, now we'll get to that in a minute. Brenda. Now, I think she's a first-time contributor. Not sure. So Brenda is an aunt of mine on a different side. Okay, so
Gotcha.
she mentions a few places. Okay, but she does. So she mentions Abuelo's Mexican restaurant. I personally haven't heard of that. She mentions Chi-Chi's. Now I've heard of.
I love Chi-Chi's.
Yeah, I used to love Chi-Chi's. For those who don't know, was also a Mexican restaurant, but it was more of a national chain.
Yeah.
The Chi-Chi's was.
Well, the one thing I liked about Chi-Chi's was you went there on your birthday, they would give you a sombrero.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that. But she states here that and she also mentions a Don Pablo's, but she said she said, if I had to choose one, it would be Abuelos, right? Now, get ready for this,
Don't
because
know that one.
this is me either. I wonder if a couple of those are more local, you know, like versus like. So now Chi-Chi's, like I said before, that was like a national chain. And hey, I miss that place too. I used to love Chi-Chi's.
No.
All right, so but she says, get ready for this. I miss my Van Loonens. Now she's not the only person as you'll see to mention Van Loonens, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Wasn't Van Loonens at one time called Gold Circle?
Well, I don't know. However, some people have mentioned Gold Circle. All right, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's see here. What do you got next there?
Well, another contributor, the person that's contributed before,
Okay.
Sue, says Joanne Fabrics.
Yeah, and I think that Joanne Fabrics might be more of a recent development as far as not being around anymore. But yeah, and I believe our producer CJ said that who bought out Joanne Fabrics and bought most of their stuff?
Ollie's.
Ollie's.
Like if you go to the Ollie's, you'll see a bunch of Cricut vinyl.
Okay.
You'll see a bunch of fabric. I know one of our contributors went up there and actually bought some of that product.
Wow.
Like there's a couple lamps from there.
So Ollie's purchased a lot of Joanne Fabric stuff apparently. So awesome. And you know, I feel like the last time I went to Ollie's, which probably wasn't that long, less than a month ago, I do recall seeing a section that was like, wow, I felt like I was in like a Joanne Fabrics, you know. So, all right, let me see what we got here. Okay, so a first-time contributor, Anita Audrey is her name, Anita Audrey with a D. She says, and I've never heard of this place, Paradise Restaurant. Never heard of it. We'll have to Google that or something and see what that is. But before you go with another one, Captain Tom, now this person here contributes a lot. And we'd like to thank her ahead of time. She's one of our biggest contributors to the show, and that's Nancy. You know, she's always sending, I don't know, thumbs up or some kind of contribution. But get ready for this. So you're going to hear some things that you've heard before. But, man, she mentions a lot, which is used to be on the west side for sure. Roy Rogers. I think they sort of trying to make a comeback, but maybe not. Frisch's. She also mentions Frisch's.
Yeah.
Now, here's one we haven't heard, but I think you're going to hear it more than once. Toys R Us.
Oh, yeah.
Toys R Us. I tell you, I'll talk about that a little bit. You know, that like producer CJ and I, that was like our favorite place to go. We would just sometimes just go to Toys R Us and just walk around and look at stuff, you know. So
Right.
Nancy also says Swallens.
Yeah, Swallens was another department store.
Did they have a lot of electronics more at Swallens? Or
I'm not really sure.
Gotcha.
But it was more of a department store in town here.
Now she mentions O'Charlie's. Now O'Charlie's is still around.
Still around, yeah.
Just the one kind of in the neighborhood she lives in is not around.
Oh.
Yeah, but she mentions things like family-run stores, butcher shops, you know, kind of like that family mom and
pop stores.
Agreed. Yeah. And she kind of says, you know, folks who know me. You know what I mean? Because you kind of get that feeling. You know, it's tough, especially restaurants as an example, you know. A coworker of mine once said that, you know, a family member of hers came into town one time and they went to downtown and they were looking for a good restaurant to eat. And she pulled up like an app on her phone, right? And basically she was looking for restaurants and bars within like 4 blocks. Okay?
Yeah.
And she said that like there were...
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. She said that there were like 28 locations.
Of what?
Like restaurants and bars within like a 4-block radius.
Oh.
Like, I feel like that it's like, you know, it's hard to compete, you know? How do you stay in business, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what do you got next there?
Well, this is your
Aubrey, my first mate.
First mate. That was the word I was looking
Sailor
for.
Jerry's first mate. Beautiful Aubrey. What does she say?
She's saying Americana. It was an amusement park.
So a venue, right? Okay.
Here in Southwest Ohio.
Yeah, not for yeah.
Uh,
We've mentioned it before.
We've mentioned it before, yeah. And a lot of people might have even mentioned Coney Island.
Yep, I believe we did.
They just destroyed, but why I don't know. But I'll leave that for another time.
I think that they just couldn't. There's another big amusement park close to us. They just probably couldn't compete with it.
It was bought out.
Probably, yeah. So we have another contributor here, Patrick, who has contributed in the past, and he says, "Now here we got Swallens." He mentions, which we've heard that one before.
Yeah, Swallens.
Toys R Us, second one to say Toys R Us.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll third that. I wish Toys R Us would come back. I missed going to Toys R Us because you could get a lot there. It wasn't just toys. There were other things. You could buy games there. You could buy bikes. You could buy just all kinds of stuff.
Well, the games is what a lot of people went for, is that they had cheaper games.
Cheaper, yeah.
Like bundles, like... Okay, I'm going back a little bit before my time. But, in like the 90s, early 2000s, like when the N64 was a thing, when the GameCube was a thing,
sure,
people would go to Toys R Us to get the bundles because it was like $100.
Right. So yeah. All right. And sometimes I just like going there to browse, And he also mentions Gold Circle. You had mentioned that earlier. So for those who may not know, Gold Circle was kind of like a Kmart, it was, or a smaller version of Walmart.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they have those stamps? You used to have stores with, there was a company called H&S Green Stamps.
Okay.
Back in the day, and you would collect these stamps in a book.
Yeah.
And
really?
You'd have to use so many stamps to get different merch.
No, there are stores that do that. Restaurants do that. Stores do that. And if you get so many stamps, then you can get something for free, maybe, or something like that.
Something like that. But I mean, these were, apartment stores. Real quick story.
Is this the Gold Circle story, or
no? It's just it'll tie in though.
Oh, okay.
The show The Brady Bunch.
Okay.
Had an episode where they were saving these stamps, these books of stamps, and the three boys had some and the three girls had some.
Okay.
And then the maid had a whole drawer full of them.
Oh wow.
And then the stamp store was going out of business, so they had a contest between the boys and the girls of building a house of cards.
Okay.
In which the girls won. And the girls wanted like a sewing machine. The boys wanted a rowboat.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. So they came back with a color TV set.
Hey, meet in the middle, all right?
Right. Exactly. That's awesome. That was one of the earlier episodes of that show.
When that show was around, color TV sets were probably like pretty expensive,
I would think so, because you're
fairly new. Yeah.
The late 60s into the late 60s into the early 70s.
Yeah.
That's when TV shows went from black and white to color.
Right. I feel like we say back in the day a lot in our show.
That's because we are from back in the day, Jared. What can we say?
This just in, we're from back in the day. All right. So Patrick, I asked Patrick, right? So again, Patrick is a guy, we're friends, and we were in the Navy together as well. So Patrick, he's the one who said the Swallens, and he mentioned like 4 things.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I said, hey, if you could just pick one, if you could only get one of those things to come back, which one would it be of those that you mentioned? Now, ironically, he says Toys R Us. He would want Toys R Us to come back. And he explains, I'm going to read this to you. He says, I guess I miss Toys R Us more because it was nice to browse. I mentioned that, browsing, just kind of going there to browse. To browse some of the collectibles that they sold there, also bring you back to your childhood a bit, and hey, I can agree to that. I think, the old tours. I will say this, that as far as stores go, for me, I think Toys R Us would be the one. If I could have any of them come back, look, Gold Circle was just like Kmart, was just like a smaller version of Walmart.
I believe Target bought Gold Circle.
I don't know. Maybe. It's ironic that you say that, because Target's logo, of course, is a target. It's a circle, but Gold Circle kind of had a similar bit of a logo, you know.
Yeah, a gold circle.
All right, so what do you got next there?
Okay. Another contributor whose first name just happens to be Jerry, not my partner here.
Okay, another Jerry.
Another Jerry says the gay 90s restaurant in Cheviot.
Yep. Now, in all fairness, before you go on,
Yeah.
the gay 90s restaurant was local to our area. This was a restaurant that was in a town called Cheviot, Ohio. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I forget the actual. I mean, they had all kinds of different food. There wasn't no specific. It wasn't an Italian restaurant.
Right,
it wasn't
right.
French.
Yeah.
But the gay 90s means the 1890s, where the ambiance was like
The happy.
the happy gay 90s.
Yeah.
And I do have a real quick story.
Okay.
In 1979,
Oh, here we go.
when I graduated from high
Hold on,
school,
time out. Back in the day.
back in the day, I went to me and I had two buddies of mine, Bob and Dave. We were always together, and we went to our senior prom, and we just happened to go to the gay 90s for dinner with our prom dates, and
Right,
then
right.
went on to the thing after
Nice.
that.
That's one restaurant I never went to. So I don't know if it was good, bad. I mean, it's not around anymore. So
Tell you the truth,
yeah.
I was only there the one time.
yeah.
And
I'm assuming that it must have been like a family-owned place since it's not around
Well,
anymore, you know. So
yeah, it's like the Windjammer. There was another one called the Windjammer. I
Okay.
don't know
Gotcha.
who all owned that. That was another local restaurant from on this side of town.
now I will tell you this: for anybody who's not Cheviot, we mentioned that town of Cheviot. Cheviot was known, again, back in the day, a little bit now, but not as much. Back in the day, for I mean, like every other door you came to was either a bar or a restaurant, but a lot of bars. You know what I mean? We're in Cheviot, so.
Yeah.
Why don't you got another one there? Who you got there?
Rick is he a
He is Rick has
Contributor?
contributed before, absolutely. Yep.
says the old Roy Rogers restaurant,
And we've heard that one before.
and I don't know about you, but I have a favorite thing that was at that restaurant.
Okay, Roy Rogers.
They
All right,
had a
what do you got?
what they called a double R burger, which was a cheeseburger with ham on it.
Like RR, like a
Yeah.
pirate.
Well, like Roy Rogers, RR.
Yeah. You know,
and they had the best barbecue sauce in the world to put on that sandwich.
So I believe. Give me 1 second here. Yes. So Rick goes on to say that his dad ran a couple of them back in the 80s.
Oh my!
His last store was up on the Skywalk downtown.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Now, I don't know if he's talking about downtown Cincinnati. I can only assume he's
I
talking
do
about
believe
that.
he's
Okay.
talking about it.
And he says, you ready for this? He says, nothing beats a double R sandwich. The exact same thing you were saying.
Yeah, with
Absolutely.
you gotta put the barbecue, so the Roy Rogers barbecue sauce on it.
Just the best.
It wasn't hot. It wasn't bland. It was just tangy enough to
Just right.
just right, and then you also take it to dip your fries in.
Hey, Rick, thank you for that. Hey, and Roy Rogers, if there's anybody out there that has if you're listening, bring back Roy Rogers, apparently. I mean, that was more than one person
I
that
think
said
there's
that.
one in the city.
I believe so.
And
I think in Cleveland.
another county.
There was one in Eastgate area,
Yeah.
not too far. So I'm not sure if it's still there or not.
That's
We'll
the
have
other
to
county
check.
I think I'm talking about.
Yeah. Claremont, right? Okay. Jerry, the same Jerry that mentioned the gay 90s, he said a store named Steinberg's. Do you remember I kind of remember that.
I do.
I don't know if it was electronics.
I
don't
do
know.
believe so.
Yeah.
It was.
Was it?
I
Yeah.
do believe it was an electronic store.
Yeah. I mean, there's some others.
That's taken me back. I mean,
Yeah.
back.
Well, also, do you remember Service Merchandise?
Yes, I do.
So my beautiful wife Aubrey, my first mate, the first piece of jewelry that I bought for her, I bought at Service Merchandise. Now, Service Merchandise probably went out of business not too long after that, but That was I bought her a necklace.
You didn't buy enough, I guess, right?
I guess not. I don't know. But no, I bought her a necklace, and that's where I bought it from
Now,
Service Merchandise.
Didn't they have a catalog?
Maybe they probably did, like Sears, right? They had
And yeah, the Sears catalog. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted the Sears catalog back in the day.
Yeah.
Again, when I'm talking back in the day this time, I'm talking Sears. It was Sears and Roebuck,
Yeah.
and they had a catalog every season. They had a summer catalog. They had a winter catalog.
Now Tasha, who is first-time contributor. Thank you, Tasha, for contributing. She says, now you ready for this? First time I think we've heard of Shillitoes. You remember Shillitoes?
Yeah.
But she also says Gold Circle. Man, I tell you, I feel like Gold Circle had, like I said, it was like a mini Walmart, but the prices were pretty decent,
Yeah.
I feel, and that's...
It was Gold Circle was like a Kmart type
Yes.
shop.
Yes.
Before we had Walmart, Mr. Walton didn't start Walmart yet.
Right, yeah. It was before that time, sure.
But what was the other one you said?
Shillitoes.
Shillitoes, yes.
Yeah, that's like a JCPenney.
Was owned actually by Macy's.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Which,
good.
That's when the Shillitoes, anything that you see as Macy's used to be Shillitoes in this town.
Now, my mom, I mention her every show because, she says, don't say if you don't have anything nice to say. So I never forget this. I was young, but my mom was really good at wrapping presents.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, beautiful, and she taught me. Well, she would work seasonally during the Christmas holiday season at Pogues. If you remember Pogues, so in downtown Cincinnati there was a Pogues, also probably like on the Skyway, like what Rick was talking about.
Actually, right there, I do believe it was part of the building.
Like the Crew Tower or something? Okay.
Area.
So, Pogues...
But, the whole downtown was different back in the day we're talking about, because they tore down different things. There was a theater downtown that they tore down.
Right.
That they now have the, what's that hotel right across the street from Fountain Square?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So that's where the Albee Theater used to be in Cincinnati.
Oh, I didn't know that. So if you went shopping at Pogues, you could bring your merchandise to where my mom would work her seasonal job, and she would wrap it, and there you go. Yeah. And so she taught me how to wrap gifts.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, she was dynamite at wrapping gifts.
Back in the day when we're talking about Pogues downtown.
Uh-oh, here we go.
The fountain was actually on 5th Street.
Okay.
Like in the middle of the street, they had to drive around it or something.
Yeah. It's kind of like that now.
And now they moved it where it's at now years later.
Oh, okay. I know that it has had different locations. So now in our next show, what we may do is just kind of recap and show some. I'd like for our audience to see some of these like Gold Circle, like what their logos look like. I think it would be interesting to actually see some of the logos. And I apologize we didn't include that in today's show, but I think we may do that in our next episode, is kind of do a recap, right, of just a few. So I think our more popular ones that we've heard today are, Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Would definitely be a popular. Gold Circle. I don't want to say that surprised me, because it doesn't surprise me. Really, not in this area.
Again,
anyway, so.
They mentioned Van Loonen's. Gold Circle.
A couple,
Van Loonen.
Van Loonen's, and also Swollen's actually was mentioned a couple times.
Right.
So and if I remember right, Swollen's logo was like a swan, a bird. You're not sure?
I don't remember. It's
all right,
a while back.
So, Captain Tom, do you have something that you wish, like a venue, a restaurant, a company?
Well, I agree with Rick, with Roy Rogers.
That was
the Kmart was always one of my favorite places to go, because we would always go there to get. I mean, we didn't have much money back in the day.
Sure, maybe that's why you went to Gold Circle or Kmart.
We went to Kmart. Yeah, well, you know,
there's still a lot.
but
you know.
one that nobody mentioned that's not now. It may be around in the country,
Right.
but it may not, it's not in this city anymore. Is Applebee's? I miss going to Applebee's.
You know, yeah, you're right. There used to be one local. There was someone, and you're right. I really don't see those either too much.
It's not
you know?
in this city for some reason.
Yeah. Well, again,
But I see it advertised.
I tell you, restaurant business is so competitive.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many other things that pop up, and it's just so, you know, it's just competitive, you know, and it's it's got to be tough, you know, to be a restaurant owner to stay in business. I mean, really.
But I've been married and widowed twice, and I went to that restaurant with both of my wives.
Got the Applebee's.
At different, you know.
Yeah. And I feel like there's other restaurants that are similar. Charlie's, I feel like, is similar. TGI Fridays is similar.
TGI Fridays is a good one, too. I like that one.
But, so for me, and I've mentioned Toys R Us. I have memories of producer CJ, him and I going in there and just kind of browsing and, you know, just looking at stuff, getting ideas for, like Patrick mentioned, sometimes even they would have just cool stuff you could look at and maybe, like I said, even bicycles even, you know what I mean? Old games, you know, whatever. Or like, say you like action figures, right? They would have stuff from Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever, you know.
I got a story about action figures too.
Oh, hold that thought though. But the one thing for me, and nobody mentioned actually, because it's not really a venue, it's part of a venue. All right. So we've mentioned Kings Island in the past, but there is a ride at Kings Island that unfortunately producer CJ didn't get an opportunity to ride because he was just kind of getting tall enough for it, and then, you know, getting his nerve up to do it because you're upside down a lot. But there's a ride called the Vortex that a lot of our listeners probably know what I'm referring to. Wait, did I just end a sentence? Sorry, Jerry Sr., I ended a sentence with a preposition. But he says you shouldn't end a sentence with a preposition. But anyway, that ride, I wish that they would bring that ride back. Not to get too far off topic, but that's why they brought back the old-fashioned cars, because they did a survey and they asked people of things, what do you miss the most? And people came back and said the old-fashioned cars. And they brought them back, you know. So anyway, what's your story?
Refresh my memory. What were we talking about?
Oh hell, I don't know.
We were talking about some restaurant.
Yes.
And now I can't remember.
Oh well, Applebee's. We were talking about that, and we were talking about TGI Fridays.
Oh, TGI Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah, they that was one of my favorite places to go.
Was it TGI Fridays? Yeah.
My second wife, Jamie, she didn't like cotton candy for some weird reason. However, TGI Fridays, hello, I'm going to say one of your signature drinks here. They have a cotton candy, what do you call it, martini.
Oh, ooh.
That she liked.
Ooh, wow, that sounds good.
Like,
yeah.
How do you like that and not like cotton? She's like, cotton candy ain't nothing. You put it in your mouth and then
it melts.
There. Yeah.
I wonder if that's probably like a texture thing. But well, that's a whole nother show, right?
Yeah, right.
So, is that one? Did you mention something that you? What was it that you mentioned that you? Oh, you said the Roy Rogers, right?
Roy Rogers, I'd like to see come back. Kmart, I'd like to see.
Oh, that's right,
back.
Kmart. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, the Applebee's, I'd like to see come back.
Yeah, especially around here. Yeah, for sure. They had some good dishes there.
I'll tell you another thing that I'd like to see from back in the day. Now, I'm going to say way back in the day.
Okay.
Is a dime store.
Oh, yeah.
You used to go in, CJ, you wouldn't believe this, but we would go into this store with very little pocket money and come out with a lot of crap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know you get a lot of the stuff from the dime store was the fish pond. Like when you go to a festival, you have a fish pond, and those were the kind of toys they had.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Dollar Tree 10 years ago.
Yeah, or 30 years ago.
Cheaper than the Dollar Tree because that's why it was called a dime store.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying 10 years ago, Dollar Tree was Dollar Tree. Now it's $1.75 tree.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
There's a dollar store next door to me here too. So
how things have changed. All right, well that concludes our show today. We really appreciate your time. And hey, like I always like to say, like my mom used to always say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Right, Captain Tom?
I agree with that. I want to say I love y'all, and we'll see you the next time.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
And I hope you enjoy our song.
Yeah.